going on, guys? I got a lot of requests for a breakdown of my latest single, Be What You Want. So I figured I would pop this Ableton session up and show you guys what I did as far as everything from chords to drums to little tiny effects. We'll go over everything. It's a pretty simple track. There's not much to it, but let's break it open. So the first thing that I started out with in this track is this Omnisphere patch. I believe it's just a kalimba patch. Let's see what it's called. Double gourd kalimba fingernail. So that's the patch I used. I built these chords just right here. So that was kind of the basis for the intro. This is where the song really started. And this is kind of where I started writing the lyrics. Obviously, this is just the intro. I wanted to build a new piece of energy after that, some sort of build up for it, a further drop. So around bar 17 right here is where I started to kind of create that build and kind of, let that energy come up. So what I did was paired pretty much the same chords with the serum patch here, which I'll solo this so you can hear it as well, but makes it a lot more fast. So automatically it's kind of now, entering this new space. There's also a sub, which I used Massive X, which is a sick plugin, especially for bass. I just started using it in the past like 5 months, and it's so sick. And here I just put a little saturation on just to beef it up, but now we have that low sub underneath it. Obviously, we're going to add in some claps and hi-hats. Most of my drums, I do everything by dragging audio in, so you can literally see, all of these hats here, and obviously the claps here. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can kind of tell how these hi-hats are different velocities. So if you look at this one compared to this one, this hi-hat's turned down by 10 dB versus this one, and it actually makes it feel a little more human. And if I solo the hi-hat and the claps, you'll hear what I mean. It's subtle. For me as a drummer, it means a lot. It just kind of helps the track feel more realistic and not as robotic. And then we have this little like riser and splasher. So I'm sure everyone has an exhaust sample of some sort. I use this Cashmere one all the time. Just again to kind of glue those parts together and make it feel a little more three-dimensional. So that's essentially the build up. I'm not going over the vocals really because that's not really part of production, but the vocals are down here, but whatever. So the drop is, let me click over here. So I took the kalimba out in the drop just to give it more space, and recycled pretty much the same chord progression, but you can see how I chopped it up and made it a little bit more, I don't know, just more open. So you can hear this part right here. Same patch. So I didn't use any sort of like sidechain or LFO manipulation to make those rhythms. I literally actually wrote it out in MIDI. Again, we recycle the bass down here with the same patch in Massive X, and now we just have more of a robust drum sounding pattern here. So I'll solo just the drums so you can hear them, because there is a lot to it. Let me get the kick in here too. So again, that's all me, dragging these pieces of audio in here, utilizing some white noise as kind of like an open hi-hat in conjunction with an actual open hi-hat. This little exciter is really important here. kind of the same thing that we did with the exhaust, where it creates energy, but you can hear it kind of crescendo up. And again, utilizing that same hi-hat pattern where there's the high velocity and low velocity. And then obviously the vocal chop, which is one of my favorite parts of the song, which is just done through Serato sample. I have it going through a little bit of auto-tune, reverb, Eddie Kramer, rolled some of the lows out, put a guitar amp on it, and then sidechained it to the kick. So the sidechain in this song is pretty intense. I kind of wanted it to be that way. That's really the drop. Nothing really else to be said about it. And then the only thing to really say about the second build up, because again, it is a similar arrangement, but the second time we see that the chords are an octave higher than here. And the reason why I did that is to kind of make that second part feel like it's progressing further along in the energy and the story of the track. It kind of just makes it feel a little bit more exciting. And we did add an impact on this second part. And again, similar feeling of just keeping the song, rolling, keeping the energy moving. And the same thing with the stomps and the risers here, kind of like this build up that I put at the end before the last drop. Into the drop. And again, it's all about, for me, just keeping that energy moving, keeping it rolling, keeping it exciting. Into that last drop, I think, is exactly the same as the first drop, and then the outro is again just the chorus. And that's really the track. There's nothing too crazy about it. One of my favorites. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and I hope this was informative. I'll catch you in the next one.